Hello everybody, how's it going today? My name is Joe Bedogne and I'm a real estate agent. In this video, I actually want to talk about what happens after you receive keys. So first and foremost, your realtor most likely talked to you about this, but you need to make sure that you contact the utility companies ahead of time so you have the utilities turned on to the property at the day that you receive keys. If you do not do this, in many cases, if there's a lapse in services at the house, the utility companies are going to charge an absorbent amount of money to have those services turned back on. So you want to have a smooth transition. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you want to contact the post office and work out mail forwarding. You also want to contact all your vendors, all your credit card bills and your bank and all those types of people and notify them of your address change. Another thing I recommend that you do once you move into the house is after closing, when you get your keys, go over to the local community center of the municipality you just moved to, and a lot of times they have a welcome packet. Go ahead and get one of those packets. They're usually free at the community center. You can look over that packet. It'll give you information as to how trash pickup works, what are some of the ordinances that are applicable to your property in terms of yard maintenance and that type of stuff, things that you don't want to get fined for. You want to look at that welcome packet and just get all the ins and outs of your community. Find out what community services are available to you just to familiarize yourself. One last housekeeping suggestion I'll give to you is go through and meet your neighbors. Then the fun begins. Once you do that basic housekeeping stuff, you want to start looking at your renovations and the updates you want to do to your house. It obviously depends on your particular situation. In some cases, you have a house that needs a lot of work and a lot of updates. In other cases, you buy a house that is pretty much ready to go, move-in ready. It also depends on how much time you have, because some people, when they get keys, they have like a few days or a week to get the new house prepared. But depending on how much time you have, the first thing that I'm going to recommend you do is go into that house and just look it over. Look at all the fixtures. Look at the room, the paint colors of the rooms, the flooring. You know, obviously you saw this stuff when you made the decision to purchase a home, but now you have hours just to walk through it without anything in it, with an empty house, and really look at it and really kind of visualize what you want that house to look like when everything is finished. Another thing that I recommend before you start moving any of your valuables into the house, I recommend changing the locks. The reason being is you obviously don't know. I mean, the sellers gave you the keys to the house, but you don't know how many sets of keys are out there, because a lot of people make copies of keys. They give them to their neighbors, they give them to their brother, they give them to their sister, and there are probably multiple sets of keys out in society that you don't know about that have access to your house. So you want to go ahead and change those locks before you start moving any of your valuables into that house. So once you do that, you want to start assessing how things are going to be in your house, and you want to start putting together a plan. So look at all the fixtures, look at all the light switches and the outlets and all that type of stuff, and figure out the stuff that you're going to be able to change out and the stuff that you have the skill set to change out. In some cases, people don't want to do any work and they're going to hire someone to come in and they're going to renovate it. But if you're a do-it-yourself type person, you're going to try to do the simpler projects on your own, the painting, the complex electrical. I recommend hiring a professional. In many cases, you have to pull a permit if you're going to do excessive electrical work. But if you're changing out an outlet or a fixture, depending on your municipality, a lot of times you don't need to pull a permit for stuff like that. What you want to do is you want to determine all the changes and updates you want to do to your house, and you want to start going to your local hardware store website and starting to add up. You want to determine all the stuff you're going to need, the fixtures and the carpeting and the paint, all that type of stuff that you're going to actually need. You're going to want to figure out what tools you're going to need. You're going to want to figure out all the costs associated with doing the particular job, and you want to kind of write a budget for that before you just dive in. You also want to kind of determine a plan as the order of operations in which you're going to do some of these updates. For example, if you were to want to paint the bedrooms and you only have a week before you have to move in, I recommend getting the bedrooms before you start doing the hallway, because it's a lot easier to paint the bedroom before you move your furniture in there. If you know the movers are coming in 2 days, you want to get those bedrooms done and painted and taken care of so you can move your beds and your dressers and all that stuff in those rooms once they're already painted. Plan ahead when it comes to the updates and the renovations that you want to do to your house. So I've mentioned painting a couple times. It's a very simple way to update your house and make your house look more modern, and it's a fairly cheap and easy way to do that. Ultimately, you are trying to make the house your own, okay? You want it to reflect your styles, but at the same time, you don't want to do something completely elaborate, because you got to always consider, even if you're planning on living in that house for 25 years, you got to consider that it's an asset that eventually at some point is going to make you money. So you don't want to do something that's going to make the house less desirable. For example, you may love polka dot wallpaper. Okay, that might be your favorite color, your favorite design, but is that really going to sell? So you see, when you update your house and paint your house and make changes to it, you want to consider the fact that, is this something else that somebody would buy in the future? So I do hope that this information was helpful, and if it was, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comment section. And last but not least, if you are in the market to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, be sure to reach out to me at joerealdeals@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions and get the process started. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.